record button, but usually doesn't start recording for a while. I'm watching the top left. It's saying starting recording. Okay, there it goes. Welcome to another episode of Hoosier Nerds podcast with your hosts Mikey, Tim, and the two Chris's. Mikey's not with us. He had to work. He might join us
Tim
later.
is.
Tim's finally here after
He's back after a month hiatus.
I'm a ghost.
He just thinks he's important and he has to guest star every once in a while.
Yeah, he's
He guest stars to bring the numbers up. He probably, you know what? He probably, when he shows up, I bet the thumbs down numbers go up.
yeah.
Thumbs down guy really hates Tim.
Can't lie, I really hate Tim too. No, we tried to record yesterday, on our way to IKEA, but we might not have high standards, but the audio recording did not meet my standards. We might not have high standards, but we do have some sort of standard.
Yes.
Standards nonetheless.
Remember, if you guys want to be part of the show, leave a comment, send us a tweet, a Facebook post.
And thumbs down guy can come on and he can make the show better. Please
give us advice. We take all advice. If you just want us to stop, well, I mean,
that sucks to be you, but we're not.
Yeah. Follow us at all the things. Where we are: Twitter, Facebook.
Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, and TuneIn Radio, and Apple or blah, 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 blah,
Apple,
iTunes.
Apple, yeah, that's
iTunes.
What it's called. If you have any ideas for any other places to put our podcast, let us know.
And the toilet is not recommended.
Isn't there a saying, all publicity is good publicity? So thumbs down, guy, keep it up.
Yeah, right. I agree. Keep bringing it.
Keep bringing it. We all know the Browns aren't making the Super Bowl, but that is where I got to go here soon. So
but
I think the Browns. Speaking of Super Bowl, Godzilla versus Kong. Good transition.
That was a great segue.
The first official trailer came out, and I know I'm going to piss off one of my old friends by saying this, but I am not interested.
Are you kidding? I thought it looked great.
Why is King Kong so much bigger now?
Because he was like a baby in Kong.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's growing.
I saw the trailer. I'm like, they're like nose to nose.
I don't. It just didn't interest me. It's like, well, I feel like I saw everything. It's going to be just like the other Godzilla movies. It's going to be a lot of dark action shots.
It looks brighter.
I thought it looked brighter too.
Yeah, but then again, some of the action shots you can definitely tell it's going to be nighttime.
That's like classic Godzilla, though. I don't mind if it's
King Kong was at night too. I mean, the '77 version, most of it was the day, except when he climbed the World Trade Center. That was at night, but it wasn't at night.
Island wasn't at night.
No, but it wasn't at night, raining with big heavy cloud coverage and fog either. So.
Oh, you mean like Godzilla King of Monsters or whatever?
Yes.
The last one was? But I feel like that's what's going to happen in this movie, and I'm not going to be able to see the fights.
I hope not, because I'll be pissed. Go
ahead.
That's the only reason. I think that the Godzilla movie would have been much better if I could have seen everything instead of everything hiding behind a dark cloud of rain and, clouds. It was just bad.
If Godzilla versus King of Monsters is the one I'm thinking of, when he's fighting all like Mothrak and all those other. The ending fight scene was pretty vivid. I mean, it was a little on the dark side, but it was kind of easy to see radioactive Godzilla.
On the dark side.
Yeah, but like the first Kong back in 2014,
that was such a
I couldn't see crap at the end. And then King of Monsters, it was a lot of cloud coverage, kind of dark. I mean, it wasn't as dark as the last one, but it was like
I still couldn't really see that final fight scene anytime.
And like my other complaint is another movie, another cast of human characters that I don't care about.
Are you supposed to care about every Godzilla movie I've ever seen? I didn't give a shit about the characters. That even goes back to the ones from the 50s and 60s and 70s.
King Kong, the King Kong, Godzilla, and Godzilla King of Monsters all had like an all-star cast. And I didn't give a shit about any of
But
those.
so did the King Kong in the 70s had an all-star cast. Believe it or not. It had Jessica Lange. Yeah, Jessica Lange, Jeff Bridges, Charles Grodin was in it.
Charles Manson.
Charles Manson. Yeah, that's right. He showed up too. Yeah, but I mean, Jeff Bridges was he was a big up and coming actor at that point. So, but yeah, Jessica Lange and Kurt, Jeff Bridges. I mean, the dude abides. So,
I mean, it's only the first trailer, but we were talking on the road on the trip down to Indy when we were going to IKEA, and I agree with what Mikey said that I feel like we saw a lot of the
fight scene.
I think we saw too much in that trailer already. Because why is King Kong fighting with some sort of hammer that's absorbing the radiation beam from Godzilla? Like, what the heck is that?
I want to know how the whole story is gonna end. Godzilla is a friend to humanity and just
What's gonna happen
if Godzilla dies? Does he shrink into nothing like in the Rampage video game?
Is it? That's great.
No, what's gonna happen is Godzilla and King Kong are gonna dap it up, and they're gonna go their separate ways at the end.
But where? Separate ways to where?
King Kong go back to Skull Island. He's pretty happy on Skull Island.
He can go into Skull. He can climb the Empire State Building and get shot down by airplanes and helicopters. It's inevitable. That is the fate.
Climb the Empire State Building.
Is that the end?
Or will he climb World Trade Center 1 or whatever it is?
One World Trade Center.
Right.
Now there'd be too many people complaining because 9/11.
Oh God, it's a monkey on a just he doesn't destroy the building, he just climbs it. What's the big deal?
I actually saw a cartoon the other day, and in the cartoon it had some a plane crashed, and I was like, it's offensive to people that died in plane crashes. You can't show that.
How dare they offend people who died in plane crashes? I'm upset about it just thinking about it. I really am. And I've never been in a plane crash before, but still, that's not the point.
I've never been in one. My dad's been in one, but he's a pilot, so it was likely to happen. Anyways, back to crashes. Let's talk about Camp Cretaceous on Netflix.
What is Camp Cretaceous?
It was that cartoon.
Is that that Jurassic Park cartoon that I didn't watch?
I watched 3 episodes of season 1 and totally got this is boring. And then season 2 just came out this week, or it comes out this week, or it's out. And I have no interest in watching it. But someone that listens might like it. So you know what? More power to you.
So it's coming out. Is that the one where the kids are smarter than the camp counselors? And wacky hijinks ensue, and a dinosaur gets out of the cage, and
basically.
Okay.
It's a kid show. That's all it is. And if you like it, it's up. That's all you. But season 2 is out. If you want to watch it.
Does anybody get eaten on that show?
Probably not.
Gonna get eaten.
Oh, what's the fun in that?
They might make you think someone gets eaten, but then they turn out okay.
It's a kid show. Let's be honest. All right. I know we're kind of speeding through some things, but let's move.
Can I bring up a weird show that I kind of have watching? So I don't know if you guys have heard of course, now that I'm talking about it, my mind's drawing a blank. It's a show on Nickelodeon, and it's about a bunch of, I think it might be called Astronauts. And again, it is a kids show, so you have to bear in mind with going to watch it. But it's a bunch of astronauts children get into are taking a tour of the rocket for whatever reason, and somehow the artificial intelligence that is in the rocket, her name is Vicky, iRobot, hint hint, launches the kids into space. And so then it's them trying to get back to Earth, and it seems like Vicky's like turning evil and is keeping the kids up there on purpose. It's a crazy show. It's only like 10 episodes long. I think each each episode might be like 30 minutes. But if you're ever bored, it's not a bad show to just watch one episode.
Copy.
So
But that's my weird show.
that sounds like Space Camp,
Yeah.
don't it? Anybody remember the movie? Am I the only one that remembers the movie Space Camp?
Yes, I don't remember it.
Kate Capshaw, Leah Thompson, John Travolta's wife, Kelly Preston is in it, and a very young Joaquin Phoenix. He wasn't even Joaquin Phoenix yet. I think his name was Leaf Phoenix in the movie. In the credits, he was not Joaquin. So what it is he's this dopey kid in Space Camp who's all about Star Wars, and he's got this stupid robot friend at Space Camp, and they their group is picked to sit on the launch pad while they fire the rockets, like test the rockets or something. And the robot talks to the computer, and they launch them into space. So then they got to figure out how to get back home.
So it sounds like they just
They just ripped off Space Camp, is what they
yeah,
did.
they just revamped the show.
There you go. Just ruined that for you. You're welcome.
Wow.
Rehash. Just rehashing shit.
Nothing original
South Park.
anymore.
South Park was right.
If I want the same stuff over and over again, I will watch a Liam Neeson movie.
Liam Neeson in.
Liam Neeson. It's been the running joke lately.
His movies aren't half bad either. Just he plays.
No, they're not. They're just repetitive. That's all right. I don't mind.
All right. Tim, tell us
Yes.
about Captain Worf.
What?
The
Captain
Worf,
Whore.
the Worf news from Star Trek.
Oh, Worf. I thought you said whore.
Oh,
No.
That's why I was like, what? What do I know about that? Who've you been talking to?
Sorry, I know too much. I've
So-
been talking to Bo too much.
So Michael Dorn, who played Worf in Yankee, and you know what? Someone mute this guy.
Sorry.
I'll just read his little paragraph that he is his full pitch to CBS. Basically, the script I wrote was, instead of looking at the Klingon Empire from Starfleet, we look at Starfleet from the Klingon Empire. And it has been going on for decades. The Klingon Empire just can't go on. It's the Russians, basically. And they decide that they have to either die with a sword in their hand and go extinct, or change with the times and become something different. And Worf is the guy that says we have to change with the times because this is the mark of a warrior. And so two things happen. They start letting other races into the Klingon world. And the only way they can do that is by letting Starfleet officers in. We'll let other people in, but first Starfleet officers, because we're all soldiers. The second thing they have to do is their resources are limited, because the Klingon universe is just like the Federation. They have planets and worlds and societies that they own, but they do it in a brutal way. So Worf will have to go out to every one of these worlds and either give them their freedom, try to work with them, or some may want to be independent. Some may be in independent wars. So Worf will have to go out from, like, go around the Klingon Empire and try to bring all of these worlds into the new Klingon Empire. I thought it was a pretty cool, it's like reverse Star Trek. It's just from the Klingons' perspective. And I don't know, I'm assuming it would have to take place in Picard timeline.
Why?
Or Picard time.
Why has it got to be Picard time?
Because if Worf is going to play himself, he can't play a 30-year-old Worf when he's 60. So it would have to take place in the Picard verse. And
Would he be in it, or is it just his idea?
No, he he pitched it as him as Worf. That's what it sounded like, at least to me.
Okay, I understand.
I mean, I guess it could, but I feel like the Klingon Empire didn't change too much between Voyager and Picard. So it would have to be like the Klingon Empire from when like Worf is maybe like just before Picard, maybe like the 5 to 10 years leading up to whatever year Picard takes place.
Okay.
But it sounded pretty cool.
Chris, any opinions on that? Did we lose Chris?
I think Chris went to
Did he?
take care of some business.
Did he? He just did. I miss that. Did I miss that note from him?
No.
That he...
No, I feel like I heard him say before that he may have had to go do some business.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you were talking. I was like, okay.
No.
Well, actually, that does sound intriguing. That it is. We would see it from the Klingons' point of view. That might be pretty cool, actually.
So, like, whereas they're a warrior race, they kind of have to not leave their like entire warrior theology behind them, but they would have to change. Instead of being like ruthless conquerors of the galaxy, they would have to just change slightly. You still be
So they could be.
conquerors.
So the humans could end up being the bullies. This is kind of like the Karate Kid reversal here. I mean, where maybe they're the victims, and we finally see it. I didn't even know you left.
Sorry, I had a phone call I needed to take.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Where are we at? What are we talking about?
Worf.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm guessing Tim pretty much covered it. I don't really know if I should add anything. So, sorry. Hey, this is what happens when you do online stuff or stuff over Skype.
Hello, Schmoopy. I'm doing my podcast. Schmoopy.
Would I have been like continue talking just like right up against the bathroom door? Like, so yeah, Worf is gonna go. Did you hear that? Okay, let me repeat that.
Oh man, classic. So,
okay, well, I guess we can move on to the next topic.
Yes, we can move on to the next topic.
I was dumb and had to take a phone call. I want to talk WandaVision now that episode 3 is out, and I kind of did get to talk last week.
Wait, is your car out of warranty? Is that what the phone call was about?
No, it was about it was for the move. Something about the move.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was about the Super Bowl.
Apparently, something I signed up. Nothing I don't want to talk about it on the podcast. Our 20 people that listen to us don't need to know my issues with this move right now. All right, I want to talk WandaVision.
WandaVision.
I know you guys talked about it last week, but I'm going to say my thoughts on it right now. If they did not release episode 2 when they released episode 1, I would not have kept watching.
And that's
hands
why
down, episode 1. Yeah, hands down, episode 1 did not hook me. Episode 2 barely hooked me, and episode 3 might have almost lost me.
Why did episode 3 almost lose you?
Because
half of it, the first half of every show will lose you, but then it comes back around again.
This show is reminding me of The Walking Dead, where nothing ever really happens in any episode. It's just a hook that they give you at the very end of every episode to bring it back. Nothing ever expands really anything. I feel like nothing's happening.
And it's only 2 episodes.
3 episodes.
3 episodes.
It's interesting.
Assuming it's going to be a 10-episode season, just like everything else. So, I mean, they better start moving if they plan to keep people interested.
Well, they're only like 20-minute episodes because you first gotta get caught up, but then they run the credits, and then you got like 8 minutes of credits at the end of the show.
The
So
credits at the beginning of they're only like 25-minute episodes, really.
that's what I said. They're like 20-minute episodes.
Because the beginning like cutscene of the like WandaVision is like 5 minutes. Like I legit started to hit the fast forward button because I got tired of hearing WandaVision.
So you're complaining that you think it sucks?
Is
that what I'm
I
understanding?
think the show's gonna suck.
You think it's gonna suck?
I think it's completely gonna suck.
Oh.
Only time will tell.
The only reason I'm watching it is because I got nothing else to do.
Yeah, it's entertaining. I mean, it's not like, oh my God, I can't wait for WandaVision this weekend. It's like, oh, I got to watch WandaVision.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the new episode, when you load up like Disney Plus, when you're looking for something to watch on like Saturday night, you're like, oh, the new episode of WandaVision's out. All right,
Right.
I'll watch that.
Oh my
Tim's
God.
smoking something good.
Or he's got COVID.
He's got the coof. I don't know whose cough that was then.
Not me.
Totally not you. Okay.
Wasn't me either.
We're just speeding through topics. I feel really bad about that, but there wasn't a lot other than like the Godzilla versus Kong trailer. Talk about the Batman stuff, Chris.
Yes. Batman is Batman.
Terrible.
Batman the
Terrible.
Batman the.
Terrible.
Shut up. Batman the Animated Series is getting a sequel. Speaking on their latest episode of the Fat Man Beyond podcast, Mark Bernandin and Kevin Smith brought the rumor to light with the former, which is Kevin Smith, firmly labeling it as a rumor. The rumor is that HBO Max is looking to make a sequel, that they want to continue that forward. And so Kevin Smith is not involved, but there is talk of a sequel for the Batman the Animated Series.
As long as Mark Hamill's the Joker, I'm happy.
He says, who is this, Kevin Smith? That to me is no-brainer. You've got HBO Max. You've already done that Amazing Harley Quinn show. You're printing money if you go back and do Batman, the animated series. You can't F up the legacy, that's for damn sure. You can't F it up. There's no reason not to do it, as long as you've got the key creative components. So it could happen as soon as 2022. There's nothing been official about it, but it's being talked. It's been bandied about.
Well, I'd be excited for it. I'm ready for more Batman in my life. Don't you say a word, Tim?
Well,
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty awesome.
I mean, Batman's track record speaks for itself. I don't need to say much.
What? DC's only profitable series, really?
No, it's not. You got Wonder Woman.
True. But I don't know. I'm excited for it. I want more Justice League, though, animated series.
Nothing will beat the original Justice League animated series. So
yeah, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
Can I get Hawk Girl back in Justice League, please?
Yes, just
Why?
for you, Tim.
I love Hawk Girl.
In other streaming platform news, what's it called? CBS All Access and Paramount are kind of merging. I think Paramount Plus is coming to CBS All Access. So I keep getting like notifications on my CBS All Access being like, hey, Paramount Plus is coming. I'm like, all right, cool. I kind of forgot Paramount Plus existed. What was even on Paramount Plus?
Don't even know.
Movies?
Movies, Paramount movies. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, but all the Paramount movies were on like Netflix.
Well, they'll probably come off Netflix now.
Well, maybe. You think?
I mean, if Paramount's opening up their merging with CBS, if they're trying to pimp their own streaming service, they're not going to let Netflix hold on to theirs any longer than they They have to from contracts.
He's got a point there. Once the contract's up, they'll probably bring them all back over just so they can get them. Wow. I'm looking at Paramount had like nothing on it.
Nothing.
Well, that's actually a lie. It had a lot. TV or Travel Channel, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network.
Oh, So it had all like the old Nickelodeon stuff. So it had like
Yeah,
Drake
but
and
that's
Josh
also
and
on
iCarly.
Yeah, but that was all on CBS too. So that's why.
I guess instead of having two
Again,
different
they're
channels.
100% owned by the same company. So
Yeah.
it was
It
just
is. It's probably
they were
yeah.
just trying to cast as wide of a net as they could. And now that they have their fish, they're pulling it in. They're shrinking their net. They found their sweet spot.
Look at Tim with the fisherman talk.
Yeah.
I guess
Well,
in other
'cause-
network news, NBC is shutting down NBC Sports.
Yes, this is true. So, they had a lot of like package deals. So, like if you liked motocross, you could buy a motocross package, and you could see all the practice and stuff like that. And then you could go back if you missed the race. It would be on like an hour later. And IMSA, which is like 24 hours of Daytona, 12 hours of Sebring, 6 hours of Watkins Glen. They had their own package, and IndyCar has their own it's called the Gold Pass, and they are moving all of that stuff to the Peacock streaming service, which I get that free. I don't. How long is this going to last? I get it free with Xfinity cable.
Yeah, that's what they were really promoting that to us when we signed up for our new when me and Mikey were setting up our internet. They're like, "Well, you get Peacock." I'm like,
I love Peacock.
Okay.
There's so much good stuff on there, actually. And really, it's only $5.99 a month, which I would if I got the IndyCar package anyway. Like I would buy the Gold Pass because the Gold Pass was $50 a year, and you got every practice session and every qualifying session, and the lower tier races live, which is Indy Lights. So you got all that stuff on the Gold Pass, and then it was cataloged, and you could go back and watch them anytime you wanted to. So for if I had to pay $5 a month, I would, because it's $10 more. But look how much more I'm getting. You know what I mean?
"Yeah,
I'm not just getting IndyCar races and Indy Lights races and practice and qualifying. I'm getting Saved by the Bell. I'm getting Parks and Recreation. I'm getting The Office. Plus there's countless other stuff on there.
I feel like that was Paramount's whatever's Peacock's hook was was The Office.
Yeah, I think so too. I've been watching The Office like crazy. I've been binging it.
I feel like Office is for me
I've
is
told
always
my
hit or
thoughts on The
miss.
Office, and I'll tell them again.
It's
It's
just hit or
good.
miss for me.
It's such a hit or miss show that it's only good in the memes."
Like I love some episodes are hilarious, but then there's
Damn.
certain parts of episodes that I'm like, oh my god, this isn't that funny.
And then when what's his face leaves the show, it just goes downhill. Steve Carell.
What? You guys are crazy. I think it's hilarious. Damn boomers.
I mean, it's got
Not your boomers, damn millennials.
It's got its good parts, but it's just
Yeah, I think
get
I think it is a funny show. It's just not always funny
yeah.
because it hits you with those random spots of like Frasier humor, like that dry humor, and if you're not ready for it,
Yeah, you got to have you definitely got to have a dry humor. It's almost like a.
like I personally love Frasier. I think Frasier's on top.
Oh yeah, Frasier's very funny, but I love dry humor stuff. That goes back to that's Mr. Bean, Monty Python's Flying Circus, Benny Hill. It's that dry British humor,
But even Frasier's not funny every episode either.
No, but it's and The Office wasn't that a show from Britain anyway?
Yeah, it only lasted like 2 seasons.
Yeah, so that makes sense why it does have that dry humor. I watched an episode today. They had a bat in the office. So Jim kept telling Dwight that he got bit by this bat. And he touched garlic bread and it was like burning his hand, and Dwight was like believing he was actually turning into a vampire. I thought it was hilarious. He was like, "Oh, it's so bright in here. I got to go home and just close the blinds. I can't take the it's way too bright in this office." So it was friggin' hilarious. But I like that kind of humor. So
Like, I feel like it's great in clips.
I mean, yeah, not the whole show's hilarious, but what show is?
South Park.
Well, that's well for the most part, I could have done without those Coon episodes. When Cartman was Cocoon.
I love the Coon episode.
Not a big one. I'm not a big fan of the Coon episodes.
What, the trilogy one?
The trilogy, yeah. I just thought it was.
When he joins Cthulhu.
I thought it was annoying, but I mean, but not every show of every. It can't be a hit, I mean, Big Bang Theory. I think it was season 11. It just kind of dragged along. There were only a few episodes that were really, really funny.
Big Bang Theory went for how many seasons did that show go for?
No, sorry, they went. Did they go 12 years? I think
I still watch the clip of the girls fighting over Thor's hammer.
I love that's one of my favorite episodes.
I know.
If you're comparing wands and hammers, I can't even speak to you right now.
I watched that clip specifically when you had said something in the podcast, and I was like, I gotta go watch this clip.
That is a great episode. That whole episode is great.
Every time.
One of my favorite episodes. They go and get comic books to find out what is so interesting about it, and they end up arguing about them.
And they just stop at the door, and they're like, "Are they arguing over Thor's hammer?"
Man, that's a great episode.
Oh man!
So we will not have any more NBC Sports Network by the end of this year, 2021.
Are they like doing something different with it, or are they just shutting down?
No, they're shutting it down. Like, okay, so like I know IndyCar's races are going over to the USA Network. So
yeah,
and they'll have they'll have some on NBC, I'm sure. So
it's just kind of weird. There's going to be no NBC Sports because that's where you you go to watch football and basketball and shit.
Well, NASCAR was on there too.
No one cares about NASCAR.
And IMSA and motocross, and so
IMSA sounds like some organization for some
organization, like NAMBLA.
Yeah.
The North American Marlon Brando lookalike.
I was just thinking that.
Not the other NAMBLA.
Brando Association. Oh, you guys really do look like Norm Brando. Thank you.
IMSA is the International Motorsports Association. There's some multi-class level racing, so there's different types of race cars on the track at the same time, and usually they're timed events.
Oh, isn't that unfair?
No, because they have class wins. So you have Daytona Prototype, and then you have like GT1 and GT2. I think is what I can't remember. They change it like every 2 years. They change the classes. So you have let's say you have three different types of divisions racing on the track at the same time. GTD is a division. So you have class winners. So if you win the 24 Hours of Daytona, you have an overall winner, then you have a class winner. So who is ever first in the GTD division, it wins the 24 Hours of Daytona for their division. Now, there's been upsets before where a lower division car has won the race overall.
Yeah,
it hasn't happened in a long time. But
guys, the people that are supposed to win are stuck behind some grandma driving from one of the other divisions.
And that's what makes it fun. And they have these people, and this is cool. So, like the big events like Sebring and Daytona, and even at Le Mans, they're called gentleman drivers. And they're like kind of almost amateur / pro. So that can make things really sketchy from time to time is when you put a gentleman driver into the car. But if it's a 24-hour race, you can only drive for so many hours. You can't put one guy in the race for 12 hours. You just can't do it. So it's pretty interesting, actually. It's kind of fun to watch.
It sounds pretty fun with extra like
The slower cars really it does bring the racing to the front like much better because you get caught in traffic. Like you said, you got slower cars in the way.
I'm
And
just picturing like trying to like get into my whole division is in front of this.
it can make the racing very interesting. That's for sure.
So yeah, no more NBC Sports.
So yeah, it's gone. Bye bye.
Oh,
Oh,
did you guys see that
hold on
Bond
a
got
second.
delayed
Wait.
again? Oh,
Hang on a second. Wait.
what?
Peacock to become WWE's exclusive streaming home.
Oh,
Let's check this. I just got this push from the Wall Street Journal. World Wrestling Entertainment content will move to Peacock starting March 18th in a deal worth more than $1 billion.
Oh, I hope you said it with a pinky up.
Holy shit. $1 billion. It does. It runs 5 years and is valued at more than $1 billion. Terms of the pact weren't disclosed. WWE will shut down its WWE Network streaming service in the United States in mid-March, and Peacock will license the programming, including the popular WrestleMania franchise, for its own platform. Sweet. That's pretty awesome. I'm telling you, Comcast can get rid of it. Peacock going to break away from Comcast. I can see it coming.
They'll all break away and then they'll all get reabsorbed in
The
a few years.
demise of the WWE Network shows the challenge to launch and sustain a successful streaming platform, even for a popular brand such as the WWE. Last year, the heavily funded short-form programming streaming service Quibi shut down after only a few months online. It has subsequently sold its programming rights to Roku. There you go. That's where all the Quibi stuff. There was some good stuff on Quibi, though.
yeah, we talked about Quibi for a while, and I almost actually got it.
It had some good. It had some good stuff on there. Peacock adding the WWE content will provide an opportunity to broaden the appeal of the service, which launched in July and has 26 million signups.
I
There's
feel like
at
we
least,
were like the
one or
only.
two shows in every streaming service that I'd want to watch. I'm like, ooh, that looks kind of cool. And like,
Yeah, but is it actually worth the money to get it?
is it worth $6 to like? I don't. There's not enough hours in the day. Not enough time in my life to watch all of these episodes that I want to watch.
Because yeah, you keep going back and watching Deep Space Nine or Voyager.
Well, it's
Right?
not my fault that Deep Space Nine is a fantastic masterpiece.
Watch Discovery.
It's not my Star Trek.
You're not my Star Trek either.
It's gonna be stupid.
But let's do this. Bond got delayed from April to October again.
Yes, got delayed again.
Are you worried? All these movies that keep getting delayed, I'm actually kind of worried about them now.
Well, here's some more news from Deadline. AMC Entertainment raises fresh cash, staves off bankruptcy. Today, as the sun is shining for AMC.
Till next month when they run out of money.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I haven't been to a movie since I think the last movie I saw in theaters was like Shrek.
They play crappy movies here. I'm so disappointed. Like
They haven't had a good movie like a good old movie in the theaters since like October.
no, they had Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but I still only watch it on HBO Max.
Well, that's because you're a loser. You're
I
supposed to
know.
go to the movies and see it.
Wow.
I did. I went Christmas night.
Well,
The little
sorry,
so
I didn't
coming
have
out-
I didn't have a
what?
date like you. Actually, I did have a date that night.
You did have a date.
But she didn't want to go see that movie.
Well, then
Hello.
shame. That's breakup material right there.
No, don't listen to him.
That is breakup material. You can't be. What? Not going to see your. See, it's happening already, Chris.
The podcast has spoken. It is decided.
Mikey hasn't put his vote in yet.
Yeah, they were showing like okay, so this past weekend, I know they showed like Abominable, and of course the Croods are still there, and Wonder Woman was there, Fatale was there, Pinocchio. They showed Pinocchio at ours.
This is so funny.
Why would I want to go see these movies?
I have a question about the Croods or whatever. So if they're the first family of humans, how do they stop inbreeding? Because if the son and the daughter have to have kids, then they'll have some issues there.
Isn't that a question for all of humanity and not just the Croods?
Yeah.
I mean,
That goes back to biblical times. That gets complicated. Now you're getting into Bible talk. I don't know my Bible that
technically,
well.
technically, Adam's wife, Adam took a wife and from the pre-Adamites. Yeah, literally in the
There were
Bible.
no pre-Adamites.
I can go look up the excerpt if you want.
Can we not
a
get
pre-Adamite.
religious?
Adam was the first man.
I'm just saying, in the
Made
Bible
out
it
of
says
dirt.
he took a wife. Pre-Adamites, they were called.
There's no. That was
All
his
right.
wife was Eve. It was made from a rib of Adam.
Let's stop it there. No.
What do you mean? We'll get viewers. All publicity is good publicity.
I don't
Adamites.
want to deal with the backlash.
From who?
That's
Everybody.
I'm gonna have followers called Christianites. That's me because that's my full name. Come follow me, fellow Christianites. And
Mine will be called Christians.
no, they're Christianites. They follow me.
No, but the Christians follow me because I'm just Chris.
Yeah, but I got Christianites, so mine are better because we added ites to it. So
We can just agree that the Timites and the Mikeites suck.
Whoa.
okay, what's next? now that
yeah.
the WWE
So,
has moved to
Me and
Peacock.
Kimberly are talking, or have been watching all the Marvel movies again. We went through phase 1 and we're about done with phase 2. So I kind of just want to talk about like my thoughts on like rewatching all the
What's
Marvel
phase
movies.
1? Is that what Iron Man?
Iron
1?
Man to Avengers. Phase 2 is basically everything before Age of Ultron. I can't think of the movies. We watched Thor, Dark World, Captain Civil War.
You know,
not Civil War,
I've always
Winter
wanted.
Soldier.
I haven't seen the Dark World. And always wanted to watch it.
That movie, I forgot how good that movie actually kind of was.
I've seen pieces of it, like when I'm working at work and I see patients with it on in their room, and it looks like a pretty good movie.
Which movie is it?
Thor: Dark World.
Oh,
that one was actually really good. I forgot that one was actually like a pretty good movie. But I've come to realize that I actually don't really like Iron Man as a superhero.
Well, he's not.
He's not a superhero. He's just a rich guy with a suit. Blah blah
That's
blah
right.
blah blah.
I have to agree with you on this one, Tim.
I'm glad
He's
you
just a rich
agree
guy
with
in a
me.
suit.
And then you can just take that same
Nope.
model and
Nope.
multiply it times 50 for Batman.
No, I'm good on that one.
Damn,
But Tony
hypocrite.
Stark never learned his lesson.
Hypocrisy.
Every single movie, he has the same issue, and it's just
Like, he's
it's
rich.
dumb. Rich guy thinks he can do whatever he wants. Is an alcoholic.
can't. Look at the world. Rich people do whatever they want. He's just showing everybody it is what it is. If you have the money, you can do whatever you want.
Okay, so you brought up the whole. So how far have you watched? How many movies have you watched? The Marvel movies.
We are at the Guardians of the Galaxy right now.
Okay, because I just thought about something. Yeah, that is a great movie. I just thought about something though, going back to WandaVision.
Oh.
Remember? Yes, because remember when she was in the house with the neighbor said, "Didn't he die at the Infinity War?"
Huh.
What?
Yes, the neighbor said that. She's like, "What did you say?"
The neighbor from what?
In WandaVision.
I thought WandaVision took place between Civil War and Infinity War.
I don't know, but that's now you gotta go back and watch. Now you gotta go back and watch it because she does say he died at Infinity War, and she's like, "What'd you say?" And she wouldn't repeat herself.
I'm so confused now.
Of what? The timeline of WandaVision?
Yeah, cause I could have swore it was supposed to happen between Civil War and Infinity War.
See, there you go. I don't know.
But no, we're enjoying it. I forgot how like I think it was like a lot of the phase Basically, I've always thought a lot of the older ones sucked, but as I went back and watched them, I was like, you know what? These actually weren't that bad. They're just
No,
old.
they're all good movies.
Yeah.
This
I mean,
this
Civil
thing
War
on
sucks.
CNET says
Iron Man 2 and
WandaVision takes
3.
place after the events of Endgame, and its plot will lead directly into Wanda's appearance in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So it takes place between Endgame and the new Strange movie that comes out in 2022.
Oh, okay.
But it's still, yeah, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
I wonder if she's creating like multiverses or something. I don't know. We'll find out when the movie comes out. Probably in the next 5 years when
I
that
mean,
movie comes
between the
out.
two of them, they can really do whatever they want.
I mean, Wanda is one of the most powerful characters
And then
in Marvel.
Vision's not too far off.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
There you go. There's why Tony Stark is a great hero. It's because he brought Vision to reality.
No, that was
And with-
Ultron.
Oh, that was Ultron. Yes.
Ultron's the
Wait,
real.
hold on. But didn't now I need to go watch them because now I'm all
Well,
messed.
Tony started it, but Ultron
Isn't-
really took it to the next level.
Because isn't Vision Jarvis?
Yeah, basically, Tony used. Shit, I can't really remember.
That's I'm getting a little.
I haven't watched Ultron
Messed
since it
up.
was in theaters. That's how bad I thought Ultron was.
Is that the one with the shitty CGI at the beginning of the movie
Yeah,
when they're running through the woods? And
yeah.
yeah, I was not a fan of that movie.
I haven't seen it since it came out in theaters.
I was just about to say best part of Ultron was when the it doesn't matter because I was mixing it up with Days of Future Past. I was gonna be like, oh yeah, that the Asian mutant or whatever, and then as soon as I said mutant, I was like, no, 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 no.
I would have destroyed you. No, I'm joking.
Hey, I stopped.
That's some funny stuff right there. Okay.
Alrighty then. And then last thing on the docket is the Super Bowl. We have Tampa Bay as the home team. The Tampa Bay Gronkaneers playing against the Chiefs.
So it's the first time in 55 years that a team is playing at home in the Super Bowl.
It's amazing how the NFL just makes it happen.
Wasn't that cute? So how much did LaFleur get paid to put in that field goal at 2 minutes left in the game instead of going for a touchdown?
And more so, how much did those refs get paid to call that pass interference?
Who was it? Tony Dungy tweeted, was it pass interference? Yes, but they allowed it to go on all game long.
Yeah.
And they decided to call it then. That was the problem.
And then there's like another like just a drive later, or like that was at the end of the half. So in the second half, someone on the Packers I watched the replay of the thing, barely even touched this defender, and they called the PI on that. But then on the 40 seconds left in the first half of the game, they don't call what is called by every single analyst everywhere a blatant missed call. You should not miss blatant calls. That ruins
like that all season long.
It ruins the game. It is ridiculous. I can totally understand missing calls every once in a while, but someone up in the booth in Secaucus or what?
Secaucus.
That's basketball. I forgot. Someone up in wherever it is that they have like the NFL, like where they go and talk to like that ref that's on standby to like explain calls and stuff like that. Someone needs to step in and be like, "Hey, there was PI on that play, and you need to call it."
Well, still, Yeah, I agree. The calls have been inconsistent. They're consistently inconsistent. They've been
No,
like that
I'm
all
just
season
saying, like
long.
across the season, they need to like if a call is obviously incorrect and you know uh people higher up in the world of the NFL all agree like during game they're like, "Oh yeah, that was a missed call by the refs." Like how? Someone step in and be like, "Hey,
Because
uh,
this is a problem. Because
like
the referees now rely so much on instant replay that they don't feel they have to really do their job anymore. That's the way I feel. They're so afraid to.
then they need to bring back the rule to be able to challenge PIs, challenge for PIs as much as
Well, the
it was like
problem with the
annoying.
challenging PIs was they didn't really even follow the rules in that one. Like it
Yeah,
was an obvious PI, and they never even
as
called it.
it was just as inconsistent that
Yeah.
like they would be like, "Oh, review," and then you'd be like, "Oh, sweet, like this is definitely going to get overturned," and they're like, "Nope, not enough evidence," and then other ones wouldn't have any evidence. That's why, as
Right.
ridiculous as it sounds, they need to somehow implement like AI, like refs won't get calls
I
wrong.
would just as soon get rid of all
They can have
challenges and
a
just
ref.
make the referees do their job and just call the game like you see it. Don't be afraid to throw a flag or just be consistent. It's not hard to be consistent. I could think of it.
Flag.
Do you think you could go out there and do a better job as a referee than what they're doing?
100%.
I agree, 100%. Because just call it consistent, call it right. It's
As
not hard.
ridiculous as ridiculous. I mean, I know it's not like probably the easiest job, but there's 6 refs out there, 6
But
people, and there's 2 up in the booth. They should be
but
able to see what's going on.
how much do you think that sports betting and the legalization of gambling and all across the country has started to play into this outcome of games?
I don't think
I,
that much.
I feel like
Really?
I feel like I don't think they're like. I don't think any
There's been a history of it forever.
is fixed by any means, but I do believe that the referees can paint the game in certain ways with, calls at specific times, like a late half, late
I
in the
mean,
first half. Yeah.
it could be a vendetta against a player.
And there's no way to like yeah after the like oh a week after say next week comes out that ref like hates uh
Right.
hates the other quarterback or whatever. It's not
That's
like
what
you
that
can
that's
go
what
back
that
and change
Tim
what happened.
Donaghy did in the NBA.
Yeah, it's not like you can go back and change what happened.
Right. Exactly.
It's done, so it doesn't matter if like these refs come out and like they were definitely like called these calls incorrectly because they were gonna make like say the refs bet on those games
Mhm.
somehow. At the end of the day, the ref's word is law.
Well,
Once that
but
game is over,
still, how do
once that
you
game
how do you kick a field goal with 2 minutes left in the game and
ridiculous.
give the ball back to Tom Brady?
I
Why
mean,
would you do that?
I can see them
Why?
to.
Because here's the thing: if you if
I
you
personally would have done it.
if you don't score the touchdown, right? If you don't score the touchdown in the 2 point conversion, if you don't score the touchdown, they're pinned at the 4 yard line. You're going to get the ball back. You could get the ball back. You still have a chance to tie the game,
All you have to do is stop them once.
right? Which they couldn't do, but still, you gave them better field position. They started at what, the 22 yard line, 25 yard line, instead
Like
of
I think
the 4.
things that would make football a little better. Changing the onside kick rule to the college rule would make the game so much more fun.
Change the overtime rule to the college rule, I think.
Change the overtime rule to the
I
college
agree
rule.
with change the overtime rule. I agree with that.
The onside kick rule is pretty good too. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that happen. Instead
How
of
does it
kicking
work?
onside, what they do is I don't know if this is how it still is, but the last time I saw someone do an onside kick, this is what happened. You get one shot. It's like a 4th and 20, or 4th and 20, I think, to convert from your own 20-yard line. Like if you were to get like a touchback, so you have to get a 4th and 20 completion, and if you get it, you continue your drive. If you don't get it, it's a turnover on downs, and you just gave the opposing team the ball on your own 20. So it is a severely double-edged sword. But
Right.
if you could adapt it slightly to the NFL and say, like, okay, ball's on the 30, and it's a 4th and 25. And you got to, if you want to, I mean, a 4th and 25 has probably better chances than an onside kick. So you might be more inclined to do that 4th and 25 to try to keep your momentum going, as opposed to stopping, bringing out your kickoff team, hoping to God that somebody fumbles the onside kick. That's like a 98% chance of recovery. It's just like in basket. I think it's kind of just like in basketball, how if a team is up by 4 points, all they have to do is foul somebody
Right.
to force 2, and not allow them the opportunity. Or if they're up by 3, they can foul somebody before the shot, so that way they only take 2 and they don't get a chance to take 3. I think that's nonsense. I think that's utter nonsense. I think that if you foul in the last last 30 seconds of the game, it should be 3 points or something like that to prevent that from happening, because that's so stupid that a team like comes back from behind to almost get there, and then these assholes on the other team just like, oh, hack a shack, oh, hack a shack, oh, hack a shack. It's like not
The
entertaining.
last 2 minutes of a basketball game last like 30 minutes.
Yeah, they're not. It's not. I mean, like sometimes it's entertaining to watch, like when they're actually playing, going back and forth. But like if one team is slowly catching up, you'll see the other team just start to like foul them, so they don't
Right.
score as quickly, and it's just not entertaining to watch it. Like, oh, this team's up by 10 points. I might as well just switch.
But they have intentional foul calls. And
For
those
that,
are
like
obvious.
they should
You
call
know.
intentional. That's what they should do, is call
Exactly.
intentional
That's
foul.
what I'm saying.
Give you your 2 points for your free throw, and give you an extra. You know what? Don't even give them the extra point. Give them ball. Give them ball. 2 points and ball, and people would stop fouling with 20 seconds left in the game. 100%. But that's
Yep.
just my take on it.
I think you echo a lot of people's sentiment on it. I almost completely agree with you, Tim.
I just want it to be like a little bit more entertaining. Just like with the whole onside kick thing. I think it would make the game so much more fun to watch if, 30 seconds left in a game, instead of some team having a hope and pray that their onside kick goes off without a hitch. I would much rather have my quarterback at the helm on a 4th and 20. Either way, you miss it, you lose. And it
Right.
takes that dangerous kickoff out of the equation.
I don't know. All I know is the Chiefs and the Bucks are in the playoffs, and I have no interest in watching either team win because I hate both of them very, 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 very
You're
much.
just a Raiders fan.
There's nothing to do with a Raiders fan. I've hated the Bucks long before I was a Raider. Long before they played the Raiders in the Super Bowl.
Personally, I would rather the Chiefs win, but that's just because I don't want Brady to have another Super Bowl. But on the other hand,
I mean, I hate the Chiefs because I'm a Raiders
already
fan, but
he's already got so many rings. Another one won't make a difference. So just let him have another one.
the city of Tampa has the worst sports fans in the history of sports. They only come out when their team wins. They don't give a crap about them any other time until they're good.
Like the
And-
Rays.
And I brought this up before. I think I brought it up last week. Like a couple years ago, The Tampa Bay Rays were
Yeah.
leading their division, right?
Uh-huh.
It was the last week of the season. Evan Longoria came out on Twitter and he blasted the fans because only 12,000 people showed up at the stadium. He's like, "You guys wanted a first place team and we give you one, now nobody comes out." That's exactly what the problem is. They only show up when they're winning. And that's shitty. I mean, come on, I'm a Blackhawks fan now and they're absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
okay.
start-
The Black,
You know what I mean?
So one of the best teams in the league for like 15 years. So calm down over there.
I've been a Blackhawks fan for 20-something years. I
Yeah,
went
but
through,
he's not a bandwagoner.
I'm not a bandwagon jumper.
No, I know. I'm just saying, it's not like they've been garbage your whole life.
No, well,
Like
no.
somebody's football team. But
I mean, I've been a Raiders fan since 1977. I mean, come
at
on.
least you got to see a team win a Super Bowl.
2 of them. And let me bring this up. 40 years ago today, the Oakland Raiders beat the Philadelphia Eagles in Super Bowl 15 by the score of 27-10. My favorite Raider of all time, Cliff Branch, scored 2 touchdowns. So there you go.
Still not in the Hall of Fame.
And he's still not in the Hall of Fame. It's bullshit. Don't get me started. But that did happen 40
Let's
years
not get
ago
into Hall of Fame talk again.
No, let's not do that again. But yeah, I did get to see the Raiders win 3 Super Bowls. But I've gone through a lot of 4-12 and 3-13 seasons lately.
I
So
might be a Colts fan, but I was a Colts fan when we almost went, it's the suck for luck year, then the year luck was hurt.
okay. So I know none of you guys were born, you were born after the Colts came here. I can remember the day it was announced the Colts moved to Indianapolis. So I went through the whole Mark Herman, Mike Pagel, Art Schleitzer, Jeff George days and Mr. Captain Comeback himself. Jim Harbaugh.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Jim Harbaugh was Captain Comeback. That was early. That was the mid-90s. They were fun to watch. That team was fun to watch. They weren't supposed to win anything, and they just, they just kept winning and winning and winning until they got robbed out of the Super Bowl by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, they got robbed.
A lot. That's happened way too much with the Colts. Robbed out of the Super Bowl. If the freaking Patriots weren't there, the Colts would have probably 2 more Super Bowls.
The Colts got beat by the Steelers in the AFC Championship game, right? Cordell Stewart ran out of bounds in the back of the end zone and came back in, and they threw a touchdown pass to him.
That's
which
illegal.
It's exactly right. It is. He was not forced out.
I was going to say
out.
close.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. So that they couldn't do that back then. So yeah. So and the Colts lost by less than a touchdown. So there's the game.
I always wonder how many games would have different outcomes if you implemented the instant replay rule on those games in the 90s and the 80s.
You could go back to the Immaculate Reception with Franco Harris.
Rewritten.
The story of the Immaculate Reception is okay. So back then, the ball couldn't bounce off of an offensive player and then get touched by another player unless it hit the ground. Like a fumble. It could as a fumble, but not as a pass. So the pass got thrown, and Jack Tatum hits Frenchie Fuqua, and the ball bounces off of Frenchie Fuqua, and Franco Harris catches it and runs for a touchdown. Steelers go to the Super Bowl. And the referees, it was a huge controversy, still a huge controversy to this day between Raider fans and Steeler fans. And the referees asked how much security they could get out of the stadium. And they're like, well, you don't. And they're like, okay, Steelers touchdown. That was it. Because they were playing in Pittsburgh. So.
All right, well, I think that wraps up the show pretty tightly. Crap, I'm going to look up some shower thoughts.
We don't have any shower thoughts.
Hold on, I'm just going to Google shower thoughts.
I got a shower thought for you. Chris Markowitz.
Wow. Just give my last name out, why don't you?
The only people that watch are friends. My name is Timothy Santos, and I live in New Bedford, Mass. Come meet me. You could be a guest star on the podcast.
Meet me outside. How about that?
I'll turn my headset around. We'll have a blast. We'll go for tacos.
All right, I got one for you boys.
Oh yeah.
Your phone uses some battery power to track how much battery power you have remaining.
What?
Mikey
Your
would
phone
be-
uses battery to track how much battery you have left.
Yeah. So the battery tracks your battery.
Yes.
That's true. You're right.
I'm not as good as Mikey's.
I wasn't very good.
All right, I'll try again.
Someone
Well,
get the phone.
we can try again next week on another episode of Hoosier Nerds podcast.
Yes, we can.
Tim?
Yeah, come check us out on wherever you may get your. You can just throw it at me like that.
You're
just
welcome.
just
That's
threw
what I'm good
the
at.
baton straight at my head. Yeah, you get your podcasts. Come listen to us wherever you may get your podcasts, your favorite podcast. Of course, it's Hoosier Nerds Podcast. And yeah, as always, come check us out, and we'll never leave you wondering who's your nerds.